Hello, my name is Alana Marchetti, and this is my reflective rhetorical analysis on LEGO stereotypes in gender. I'd like you to visualize for just a moment. Think about you're going to Target. You walk through the makeup section, the food section, the tech section, and you walked into one of these sections, you wouldn't see anything that says for men or for women. Then you walk into the toy section, and there's going to be three different aisles. One's colored blue, black, red, filled with Matchbox cars, Fortnite water guns, Nerf items, and superhero action figures. Then you walk into the next aisle, which is full Lego section, where there are Harry Potter, Marvel, Lego Flowers, Star Wars Legos, and so much more. Every single one of these boxes is going to be colored blue, black, brown, whatever. As you look into the next session, you're going to be overwhelmed by the color pink. One wall of this aisle is filled with Barbies, dolls, makeup, and more, and the other wall is filled with an entire row of Legos colored purple and labeled Lego Friends. Lego Friends is a product line at Lego that sets that first launched in 2012 that focuses on a group of five girls. The quote-unquote girly colors are attributes of Lego Friends gear that gear the consumer to be more female than male and repel the male gender. With that being said, the LEGO brand seems to be making a change and becoming extremely inclusive for not just gender, but also for the LGBTQ plus community and for people of different backgrounds as well. Personally, I did not play with Legos as a kid, but I experienced these differences as I would look into the toys that I played with when I was a child. This whole realm of like pink, blue, whatever was happened in 2021. So picture this as a couple years ago. In the article, LEGO vows to eliminate gender bias and stereotypes by removing four girls and four boys labels by Joelle Goldstein. The author talks about LEGO's efforts to eliminate gender bias through logic and reasoning with logos, through emotional appeal with pathos, and uses credible and authoritative sources to display ethos. Goldstein also introduces multiple comparisons to prove the claim that gender bias will be eliminated. This challenges my perspective on gender stereotypes because, in my opinion, there will always be trends that separates both boys and girls, so there's no way to eliminate gender bias. The exigence outlined in these claims is that LEGO aims to promote inclusive play and eliminate gender stereotypes, which aligns with broader cultural conversations and gender equality in California's new law on gender neutral toy sections. It is said in the text that all children should be able to reach their true creative potential. For context on the California law that the article mentions, I had no idea what it was, so I used the Washington Post that it said. It explains that starting in 2024, the large stores in California must have a gender neutral toy section. Knowing that the law was really helped me to see why Lego timed this announcement when they did. The audience of this text is going to be readers of the People magazine that are parents, caregivers, or socially aware consumers who value inclusivity but might not actively follow toy industry news. Parents and caregivers are likely to see the data as a wake-up call about their own biases and may feel inspired or relieved that a beloved brand is helping to put this right, as Golden puts it. So, logos in this article. The article relies heavily on survey data to establish logic and urgency. Researchers conducted a global survey of nearly 7,000 parents and children ranging from 6 to 14, and parents were almost five times as likely to encourage girls to engage in dance over boys, which is 81% to 19%, and over three times as likely for cooking and baking, which was 80% to 20%. Parents are almost six times as likely to think of scientists and athletes as men than women, 85% to 15%, and over eight times as likely to think of engineers as men than women, which is 89% to 11%. These numbers give the article a scientific backbone, making Lego's decisions appear not just progressive, but the data-driven. This evidence is mind-blowing, knowing that we live in a world that is still so biased based on gender. So, for ethos in this text, the quote recognizes authoritative figures to build trust and credibility from the sources. So, corporate ethos would be Julia Golden, who is Lego's chief marketing officer, who says that the benefits of the creative play are felt by all children, and yet we still experience age-old stereotypes that label activities as only being suitable for one specific gender. Another type of ethos would be Gina Davis, who is the founder of Gina Davis Research Institute, who has a large following. I had no clue who Gina Davis was, so I checked on the Gina Davis Institute website to understand their research. They studied gender representation in media and explain how early stereotypes affect kids' career choices. I was also confused about the Lego and Gina Davis Institute's new collaboration with their new campaign called Ready for Girls, which I looked up on Gina Davis Institute, and it said that research seeks to unravel the complexities of how creativity is influenced by gender perceptions. Gina Davis says that we also know that showing girls unique and unstereotyped activities can lead to an expanded viewpoint of possibilities and opportunities. By combining a corporate executive and a celebrity advocate known for gender equality work, the article reassures that readers that this initiative is credible and well researched. This helped to make the evidence found in the text more believable to me. So for pathos, the article uses pathos by appealing to parents' emotions and their hopes for their children's futures. Julia Golden says that all children should be able to reach their true and creative potential, which makes the readers imagine their own kids being limited by gender labels. The survey data adds that to this feeling when it shows that 71% of boys associated with reported that they worry about being made fun of when they play with a toy typically associated with the other gender. So like if a boy plays with a Barbie, creating sympathy and even a sense of urgency to protect children from teasing or judgment. At the same time, phrases like ensuring more inclusive play and raising the debate around gender norms is critical, not just for girls, but for any child, giving parents hope that they can change things just by supporting Lego's new direction. By mixing concerns with optimism and using words like creative, play, and confidence, the article makes parents feel that buying Lego isn't just about toys, it's a way to help all kids grow without limits. As a girl, my brothers had many Legos, and my mother, who bought the toys based on what girls would like, would buy me Barbies and boys Legos and Chucks. I grew up in the early 2000s, so the fact that this has changed makes me feel smile because I never would have played with the quote unquote boy toys when I was a kid in fear of getting made fun of. So this article reveals a gap between my own position as a non-parent and the parent Lego aims to influence and buy, which illustrates how emotional appeals and hard data can move audience towards self-reflection about gender norms. As a girl who played with American Girl dolls and Barbies instead of Legos, it was very interesting for me to realize how much of an audience Lego has and draws towards them. What I previously thought was that Legos were for children and for people who people just grew out of them is now much different. Not only does Lego have products for children, they also have products for relationships, weddings, every movie you could ever imagine. They have sets with thousands of pieces and easy, simple Legos like Lego Duplo. This product is welcoming and available for all audiences. And with that being said, I went to Target to look at the Lego section and I bought one for my dorm room. Um, Lego are now made to look realistic and not labeled for at all for girls and for boys. They are in one section, and in my personal opinion, Lego has some gender norms, but they are not labeled on the packaging. So there really isn't any like outlined. I think it's up to society today, which is ever changing based on trends, to determine what should and should not be a boy girl Lego. Is this persuasive to me? Mostly yes. The mix of hard data and emotional quotes made me think about how toy marketing affects kids. Lego still has some subtle gender cues, but removing labels and running to a global campaign is an extremely meaningful step towards inclusion, which eliminates much of the gender bias given in challenging my idea that gender can't be stereotypes because Lego has done a great job at making sure that everyone is included and everyone is allowed to play with the Lego. Thank you.